How do you feel about how your draft went on Sunday? In fact, you were at the 11th spot, so you were one spot before me. So I was definitely watching every fucking thing you were doing. How did you feel about your draft?
I think I wish I was like midway, like sixth spot. Being second to last, I saw some things that surprised me, and so I think it was fine, But I think I made do for the position I was in for sure.
Yes, drafting at the 11 and the 12 and the 10 in a 12-team league is pretty nasty. You have to go into it knowing that you are not going to get many of the top tier guys. So you really, really, really have to make your selections count, especially in a dynasty format. I found myself actually reaching for people that I normally wouldn't reach for, but I was concerned that they weren't going to get back to me. So did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, for sure.
Your first pick was Kyren Williams. Your second pick at the 2-2 was Breece Hall. After that, you went Chuba Hubbard, and then you went Xavier Worthy. You got CJ Stroud as your quarterback. You went DJ Moore, and then you got Chris Olave. Tell me about how you feel about Kyren Williams going into the 2025 season, in a dynasty context.
McVay used the hell out of him. That dude's a workhorse.
Right.
And Stafford is on the end of his career, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously.
So maybe this year or next year, they're gonna have like a developing quarterback, And so, for dynasty purposes, I think they will build an offense around him because dude's a stud. He's savvy in the goal line. He can receive the ball. Obviously, he can run very nice. So I was happy with him. I thought he got picked up sooner than later, but I'm glad that I got him.
I actually agree with everything that you said about Kyren Williams going into 2025. But my concern with Kyren Williams was, the same thing that you said. It's obvious that Matthew Stafford is going through something right now. He's 38, 37 or something. He's got this back. He's got this back issue, and he's been in the league for a long time, and it scared the hell out of me. Like I took Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams off my early draft boards because I couldn't see myself bearing the risk of dealing with Matthew Stafford for the next 2 seasons and relying on his passing to sustain those 2 guys. But with Kyren Williams, I sort of felt the same way because I thought that his upside was capped a little bit, because if Matthew Stafford does go down, that kind of takes away from the passing attack for all of those guys, including Kyren Williams. So how did you make your decision? Because you took him over Christian McCaffrey, you took him over Puka. I guess you kind of had to, looking at the board, if you want to even have a half of a chance to have a decent running back.
Yeah, there was no running back that really, caught my eye and after Kyren Williams. So for instance, A-Chain, he's hurt, right?
Right.
He's soft tissue injuries, those are lingering, right?
Right.
Bucky Irving, no.
I thought that was a very interesting pick by 305 Breezy. If I was him, I would have taken Kyren Williams over Jonathan Taylor. It's a similar situation, but Kyren is far more reliable, and I don't even understand the pick of taking Jonathan Taylor when Kyren Williams, James Cook, and Chase Brown are on the board. I was so happy when those guys went, because I came into the draft knowing that I was probably going to be in line to get Kyren, James Cook, Chase Brown, or Bucky Irving.
And speaking about James Cook, I realized, I'm like, crap, when I thought you drafted James Cook, I'm like, frick, I thought he got picked up already.
Oh, boy.
I was in a soccer tournament watching my girls while I was drafting on my phone. Yeah, bro, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. So, to be honest, I'm not trying to bring up no excuses, whatever. I was scanning, but I was looking at both. I was looking at the soccer field and I was looking at my phone. And when I say I saw, I was like, wait, what?
Oh, my God. Damn.
When you got James Cook, I was like, dang, good, nice.
James Cook is actually one of my favorite players. But I love James Cook. He put up 16 regular season touchdowns last year and 18 touchdowns overall. He was definitely on my board, and I was jumping for joy when he was left on the board along with Chase Brown. So I was super happy with my first 2 picks. I loved him.
And Chase Brown, I think he's a workhorse and stuff.
I want young workhorses who have an established role in their offense to lead my team. That's what I wanted, and I feel like that's what I got, and I feel like that's what you got as well with Kyren Williams and Breece Hall and Chuba Hubbard, for that matter. Chuba Hubbard was on my board. I do think he's gonna be a central piece in helping Bryce Young, keep that offense churning along.
Yes, exactly, and that's why I used him for my third, because Bryce Young, you could tell he doesn't really have a strong receiving core. Right.
Well, we don't know that yet. Let's see. He got a bunch of young guys that are all under the age of 25. I was just looking at something. A bunch of young boys.
That's true. It's gonna, young guys equals chemistry, right? And they need to gel together, right?
Right. And we haven't seen it yet. To your point, we haven't seen it yet.
Exactly. So it's gonna take some time. I'm hoping, by week 6, week 6. Stuart Hubbard, he's going off, right? Because he's had a good foundation, and then Bryce Young to get comfortable swinging that ball because they have a nice formation going. So,
I think Chuba's going to be amazing this year. I've got him on my board for 12 touchdowns this year. I think he's going to be amazing if he can stay healthy. And like you said, he's going to be a very reliable piece for Bryce Young, who is trying to figure out his receiving core. And he's going to be dumping off the ball to him a lot. And he's going to be relying on Chuba at the goal line a ton. So, actually, let me take back what I said earlier. In the group chat, I said that your draft was dog water. But now that I'm sitting here looking at it, I love your draft.
Okay.
All right? Yeah.